Morning, my dear viewers. How are you? I hope you are fine today, like as me. Today I have been in front of you again with another very interesting topic. Today we'll discuss about our time. The title of the topic is our time, our lifetime. I plan to discuss on time because even recently I have visited to so many places. Also I have seen so many and then so many students, so many youth, so many have been very prominent person have been squandering, have been featuring, have been wasting their time without on unvaluable thing. So on that since that day I discovered even I how can I since that day I have been trying, I have been thinking to make a lesson for about the time because this is our time. Because time is totally unvaluable, it is irreparable. I think it is unpurchasable. No one can purchase time, no one can regain the time, no one can repeat the time. Suppose a body has lost, somebody has lost for 1 hour, I think he will not be able to purchase to buy this 1 hour again because there is nobody to prolong to extend our lifetime. So I think we must I think this is for us it become a big responsibility, a big I think it become our I think a big responsibility to value our time. If you don't know how to value our time, we will not be able. I think a noble man. I think will not be able. An icon will not be able. A prominent person in our life. We have to clearly understand like this. So this is why I have decided to discuss today on our time. Let's get started. Today our topic is our time. Number one, what is time? For example, for instance, time is, as you know, I have been explaining, your time is totally the most valuable thing about the world. There is there is nothing which is more valuable than time. When we can buy everything from the market, from everywhere, but we cannot buy, we will not be able to buy time, to purchase time, to repeat time. So time is very, very important thing. You can see here, there over the world there are so many millionaires, billionaires. If anybody can extend, prolong their lifetime, maybe the billionaires and millionaires will, I think millionaires, billionaires will extend their time. So even everybody has been getting older. I think nobody can, everybody would like to be young again, but nobody can. You have to clearly understand like this. Number two, who and what can squander and waste our time? This is also very important for us. If we don't know who and what can waste our time, it will not be able, I think, to cite a step to refrain that. So, for this reason, number one, I have chosen more friends. Suppose, even when we are a student at that time, if we have so many friends, at that time our friends will eat, will consume, will squander, will fritter, will waste our time because suppose if a student has more than 20 friends, these 20 friends will surely disturb. Somebody will call, somebody will text, somebody will invite. On this condition, he will not be able to spend his time on his education, on his lesson. In this position, he will be weak in education. So when we are a student at that time, we have to minimize friends. We have to minimize making friends. So we have to minimize, I think, all kinds of boyfriends and girlfriends. We have to understand these are a kind of disturbance of our education, our life progress. Number two, I think more sleeping. Even, for example, we have been seeing most of the people have been squandering their time on sleeping. So suppose sleep is also a kind of prominent thing in our life. If you are, I think, below 20 years old, in this position, if you take sleep, I think for 8 hours, I think it is for you enough. If you are over 20 years old, for you only 6 hours. If you take sleep for 6 hours, it is for you enough. So if you sleep more than 10 hours, 12 hours in a day, then you are squandering your time. This more sleep will not benefit to your health as well. You have to understand clearly. Number three, our mobile contact material. Today, our mobile have been a big facility for us to learn if we can use this systematically and beneficially. Even most of the youth we have been seeing, I think, squandering and free time wasting their time on mobile by playing games, watching so many different things. But if we have desire, if we have intention, I think to use our mobile on education, it is very useful. Today, even to learn your education, to learn your English, you no need to go to any teachers. If you have a mobile, you can follow so many teachers on online. You have to remember the teachers who are on online are very active more than on offline. You have to clearly understand like this. If you follow, for example, today even when you at your in your free time, I think you can follow your teachers, then you can practice. Then for you, this is very convenient. But when we were student at that time, we had no, I think, this kind of electricity, a screen set, these kinds of internet features. Number four, excitement. When you can see here, when you are a student at that time, if you follow so many excitement, at that time you will not be able to be excellent and perfect educated because, for example, if you I think if you go and watch movies and football match, this kind of zoos in a week for one, two, three times like this, I think at the time you will be weak in education because when you are a student at that time, you if you are so excited at that time, at least you can visit once in a month. If you make visit more than once in a month, I think you will be weak in education in your activities. You have to understand. Number five, laziness. Even our laziness is also consuming or eating our time because today even most of the students, most of the people have said today is very hot. I don't like to go to work today. I would like to take rest. Today is very raining. I would like to take a bed rest. I don't like to go to work. I don't like to study education. Today is very hot. When I would like to take a bed rest, I would like to take the fresh air. I don't like to study education continuously for as like as before. This is also our a kind of I think I think this is a kind of our losses. If you want to be an icon, an excellent man, you have to value, you have to follow your schedule. I think you should not see even whether it is hot, whether it is rainy, whether it is cold, whether it is chill. You have to continuously work according in accordance with your timetable and schedule. Then you will be able to be icon to be a noble person. Number six, secondary issues. Even so many different people will come and I think request and make you something. At the time you have to think whether it is very compulsory or not for you. Then if it is not very compulsory, if it is not very urgent for you, at that time I think you can send another one in your behalf. The time you can spend your time on your education and activities. For example, this is a kind of good time saving. If you follow everyone's request, everyone's demanding, I think you will be weak in education. You have to clearly understand like this. Then number three, it become also a question, how can we value and save our time? If we if we need to value, if we would like to value and save our time, I think at least number one, we should make a timetable for 24 hours. We have to have a timetable for our daily life. Even when we will get up from the bed, then when we will take prayer, and when we will start our education, when we will go to school, then when we will come back from school, then when and then we will resume our education again when we will go to sleep and for how many hours we will sleep. We have to limit everything if you want to be an excellent and very valuable person. Then manage a safe room. We have to manage a safe room. If we don't have a safe room, we will not be able to be excellent and I think how can I say perfect man because if we study in open area, so many different types of people will come and disturb us. At the time, even our mind will be deflected, our mind will be debauched, will not be able to study continuously and steadily. You have to clearly remember like this. Number three, We have to spend time in education and activities. Always we have to spend our time on education or activities. Otherwise, we will not be able to be an icon. Then we can be a noble person, an icon, an excellent man over the world, over your country. Otherwise, there is no. I hope, I think this lesson will be very helpful, very useful for our modern generation. I hope you will be able, I think, to refrain, to set a step from splendor in your time after this lesson. Thank you so much.